Well, we're under caution for the first time. 11 laps in the King Taco 200. Clint Boyer is your leader. Well, a crash in turn 2. Nick Janitis lost control of that Chevrolet and obviously he's out for the day, and you see him up against the wall. The safety workers are tending to him, and you're right, Pat Patterson, they got there very, very quickly.
Yeah, that was a pretty good hit that he took up there, you can see, and we've got ourselves a pretty big mess as we see pit road will be open this time by. Actually, they're going to bring all the cars down pit road behind the caution car so that they can clean the mess up out on the racetrack.
And Boyer and Borneman and company all coming down pit road. Normally the pit road speed would be 55 miles an hour. Here much slower than that.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I mean, if we're going to get a red flag, are we going to stop the race? Is that what we're doing? Yes, we are going to get a red flag. So obviously the yellow flag was still flying. We were looking at that, trying to figure out, well, are they going to put the red flag out or not? But obviously they're bringing all the cars down the pit lane. And actually, I'm going to see if I can get a word with Kenny Schrader. Kenny Schrader, this is Pat Patterson up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Pat.
How about your race so far, bud? Looks like you got off to a pretty good start there. Obviously, we're going to stop here, but how's your car?
Well, I'd like it to be a little freer in, a little tighter off, but hopefully we'll get a yellow flag here and be able to do a little adjustment on it, but got to get it a little bit better, Pat.
All right, partner, we'll check in with you later on as soon as we get this cleaned up and get back going again. So Ken Schrader, obviously talking about his race car as we watch the cars being parked out here, Mike, and again, got a lot of cleanup to do out there in turn number 1.
Well, let's hope again Nick Janitis is okay. I want to welcome into the booth right now a guy who did quite well in this series and on this racetrack, Brendan Gaughan, former champion in the West Series and who is now in the Nextel Cup. And he's running great here. He qualified 4th. Brendan, great to see you. Good to have you here. Oh, great.
Pretty happy about that. You know, it's a first run here in the Nextel Cup car, but this is where we had many great runs against quite a few Cup drivers. Kenny Schrader and Johnny Benson used to teach me a lot of lessons here in the old Winston West days. So, track near and dear to my heart, and got my Winston West team out there, and my old West team, Bill McAnally and those guys. So, still love this series a lot. It's a great series to race.
Yeah. Looks like they're out going to be checking that track out right now. And real important for these guys, Brendan, isn't it, that they get a good, clean racetrack on the restart and that the drivers actually go out and check this track out, make sure everything's been cleaned up.
Well, you always want to – that's one of the big things mentally as a race car driver people don't understand is that this is a very mental game. And you go out there, somebody just had an accident, you know, the stuff on the racetrack, you get a little nervous. You cut a tire. I mean, you're doing 200 mile an hour. You cut a tire, you know what's going to hurt. So you want to be able to go around the racetrack, take a quick peek at it, make sure there's nothing out there that's going to spook you. You know, I qualified here a couple years ago when my old teammate Herschel McGriff, he had blown a motor in turn 3, and I was the next guy to qualify. So they sent us out there, a quickie dry down there. They said the track's clear. I hit that speedy dry and scared the heck out of myself, and I'll never forget that. I went, oh. You know, you always want to be able to look at the racetrack before you get there. This gives them a nice shot to just warm up and get themselves that peace of mind.
Well, one of the neat things that's going to go on here in just a minute is under caution, we're going to be able to pit the cars. I mean, the guys that want to come in and take 2 tires and come in and get some adjusted done on their race car are going to be able to do that for the first time under caution, as opposed to having to make that first green flag pit stop. Man, this place, like all super speedways, it takes time and experience to get on and off this pit road.
Absolutely. I'm still not good at it.
Well, it's been a tough day so far for one Austin Cameron, who we said missed this race last year. And there's Austin. He's now being posted in the 27th position, 1 lap down. Missed the driver's meeting, had to start at the rear, jumped the start, got a pass-through penalty, and that put him the lap down. And he's going to be fighting uphill a long time today.
Yeah, but I got to tell you something. Sometimes, the hard as this is to believe, and Brendan will back me up on this, sometimes when things look like they just won't go your way at all, you end up pulling a rabbit out of your hat. Now, it doesn't happen every time, but some days when everything just looks so bad, it can actually turn around on you.
And Austin Cameron and that VMR crew, they're fighters out there. And the nice thing now is you got that lucky dog thing. All Austin has to do is get a couple spots up here, gain a few positions, so, you know, next caution that comes out, You have the lucky dog in the series? No, there's no lucky dog in the series. I'm getting NASCAR tell me, no lucky dog in the NASCAR. Oops.
That's
well,
good,
then guess what? He's got his work cut out for him. He's got to race his way back there the old-fashioned way. So
yeah.
He's definitely got to start digging now. He'll start on the double file up near the front.
Yeah.
If he's got a good race car, he'll move up there.
Pits are open. We'll see if anybody. We heard Ken Schrader say he needed an adjustment on the car, and
It'll be. We'll watch and see if we're going to get the leaders. If Boyer, I think, is going to stay out, which means I think everybody else is going to stay out except for guys that have got to have something done.
Austin Cameron coming in. That's a good move. Why not put two tires on him? I mean, he's one lap down. He can come in, put 2 tires, get some fresh ones, try to race him.
So Austin Cameron will come to the attention of his crew. Also, Bobby Hillis is on pit road. A number of others coming down the pit lane.
Brett Thompson. Jason Small, my buddy old Jason Smallsy out there.
Yep.
Good move for these guys in the back. Scott Lynch, there's our car. I mean, smart move. You're in the back.
You might as well.
Might as well come and take 2 tires. Get it full of fuel. Looks like the Orleans team, they're actually just doing fuel only. A lot of guys, Brett Thompson, fuel only.
0-8 car, same thing.
Pull a piece of tape, probably getting a little hot. It's a good move. You can run a little bit longer now, and a lot of guys in the back. It's a smart move on their voice.
Well, Brendan, track position is going to be important, and if you top off now with fuel, you may not need another stop.
Looking at this, it's a 100-lap race, 87 laps.
Still going to have to stop.
You're still going to have to stop. I don't think we can do, even with the 390 carburetor, I don't think they can make it 87 laps, but it does give you a nice spot where you catch that break you're talking about.
Yep.
Green flag pit stop, caution comes out, you put yourself in a great position.
I don't think I'd want to run 87 laps without a couple more tires either, would you?
These are bias fly Goodyear tires out there today, and I would not be very happy at lap about 80 on this tire.
Yeah, that's a little much, I think.
Not that it's a bad tire, but
No, it's good
bias fly rubber at about lap 50 is going to hurt.
It looks like they're actually taking a look at a couple of the tires, just checking basically to.
That's a sticker right there. They're getting ready. What crew? That looks like the BMR crew down there getting ready to possibly stick one on there.
And guys, I think we got great news here. We're going to get the 1 to go this time by, so we are about ready to get this race back underway. We're back on speed as we return to California Speedway. Green is out, and here we go.
Side by side as they cross the line. Clint definitely isn't going to give it to him going into turn 1.
No, Austin Cameron, though, he is really digging hard. This is a big moment for him, and he is side by side now with Boyer.
Almost clear. Got him.
Well,
he's going to race for it.
Well, at the tail end of the lead lap now is Austin Cameron.
I'm impressed with how Borneman stayed with him on the restart right there, aren't you, Brendan? I mean, without the clutch, he was rolling pretty good.
Remember, on restarts here, we don't use the clutch much. We got Jericho boxes, just shift it right into gear, and Borneman, they've been around a long time there. He's going up for a position underneath. He's looking underneath Clint there.
We were talking about Austin Cameron a moment ago, and remember, how about Borneman?
There he goes.
Borneman battling for the lead, and he is side by side for the lead with Clint Boyer. And I think that Austin Cameron, because he got penalized for jumping the start of the race, really was careful on that restart, did not want to get penalized once again.
Wow, look at Borneman. He's stuck right on the bottom there. He is flying right now. He doesn't want Austin to get back on that lap. He knows it's a tough car to beat, and if he can keep him down that lap, he's going to try.
Well, and I can't believe that Boyer gave that spot to either one of those two guys. I mean, you can't shut a door as fast as you can open one here. There's no question about that, but I don't believe he just gave him that spot.
And Borneman,
here they come out of turn 3.
I thought he just told you he was going to wait. No, not waiting for Johnny Borneman now.
Now, you find out real fast in super speedway racing, there is no plan. The only plan is what you see in front of you right then, right now,
Things change real quick in this business. Looks like Austin, he just doesn't have the race car to hold up there with Johnny and Clint. They're moving out there.
And he's way up the racetrack, too, man. That is not where you want to be, at that point of that corner over there.
But Austin's a veteran. He did the right thing. He cleared those guys, let them go a little bit. Talk about veterans. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go. Ken Schrader working on David Gilliland.
Schrader still running in the 4th position. Gilliland is running 3rd. In the 5th spot, it's Kevin Conway, the Lynchburg, Virginia driver, in the car owned by Ernie Irvin. And there inside, you're on board now with Ken Schrader.
That man taught me a lot around this racetrack. He really did a good job helping me out around this place. Taught me a whole lot about racing.
He's won here twice, in 1997 and 98. 5 top 5s here. Finished 2nd in this race 1 year ago.
Talk a little bit, Brendan, about the wind. You know, we had a lot of breeze earlier this morning. It's basically gone kind of a dead calm out there right now. The wind can really become a major player here in terms of determining how well your car handles.
In Nextel Cup qualifying yesterday, the wind kicked up, and when the wind comes down and blows into turn 2, it makes you get really tight coming off. Right now, dead wind conditions. You're looking at Borneman here. He can drive that thing down to the bottom. It doesn't get loose. It stays there. There's no air to pick that nose up. So he keeps it right where he wants to, drives off the corner, and it makes it really nice and fun on this place when there's no wind because there's no air. That whole aero factor of the wind gets taken out.
Boy, Johnny Borneman is really checked out from Clint Boyer. Now some 7-8 car lengths as they head through turns 1 and 2.
There's good paddles going on around the racetrack as well. It's not just up front where they've kind of strung out a little bit. The whole field is somewhat strung out there as you get back to Ken Schrader again working on Gilliland. You can see it's the 16 car there fading off into the background. Austin's definitely got some problems on his race car, not up to speed as you continue to watch Johnny Borneman pace the field.
He's moving away. His Ford looks pretty nice right there. I mean, you gotta give it to Cram and the guys. He looks pretty good, but Boyer's, he's not going anywhere too fast. He's making himself known that he's right there.
Well, I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. If you're Clint Boyer too, and I mean it's still real early in the race, and as long as you can keep that leader in your sights, you're going to be a little bit patient out there.
Well, remember, some guys stopped for fuel. Those two didn't right there, so maybe you want to pace yourself a little bit, sit in that draft. Anytime you sit in the draft, you're going to conserve some fuel, so might be a good strategy to save a few gallons of gas. Here we go. Looks like we got Scott Gaylord going for the pass against Jason Jefferson. Jefferson, Northwest Tour racer, great young kid.
Yeah,
right
he
there.
is.
That is the battle for the 8th position. Jefferson, who is out of Washington State, and boy, has he had some big wins there. Here's a guy who won the first West Series race he ever entered, Tri-Cities.
Yep. Jefferson and Scott Gaylord, a lot of experience. I mean, that's a guy that's been around this place 100 times, so that's tough competition for Jefferson.
Jason Jefferson in the 25. The 00 is Scott Gaylord. We'll have more of the King Taco 200 from the California Speedway in a moment. Welcome back to NASCAR's Grand National Division West Series here in Southern California. It's the King Taco 200.
You know, Kenny Schrader, you're watching him in-car here. Schrader, look at how smooth he is on that wheel. He drives in there just nice and easy. You know, that's a good handling race car right there. He's not doing a whole lot. Just those little bounces are how bouncy this track is a little bit, and smooths it on out. You got to like that.
You know, and it takes a veteran like that. You know, his car is not handling near as well as he wants it to today, yet he's been able to pass Gilliland, moved into the 3rd position, and it takes a veteran to take kind of an ill-handling race car, a car that you're not happy with, and still get it to stay up front.
No, that's the trick. I mean, I was on last night with DW on Trackside Live, and Buddy Baker's one of my mentors, and he said, you know, you can always tell the sign of a great driver is the guy that takes a car that shouldn't win and can put it up near somewhere. And Kenny Schrader's always had that ability.
I want to point out to everybody that we're basically nose to tail pretty much throughout this field. It's pretty spread out. When I say nose to tail, I mean, in other words, we don't have a lot of battles going on around the racetrack right now. It's the reason we're kind of watching here through the front of Schrader's car, but we do look like all of a sudden, well, that's a lap car that we've got in between there for Schrader, but Schrader is closing in on the 20 car. He's gaining some ground.
You know, Schrader looks like the 20 maybe fading a little bit. You know, maybe he is getting tight. That you picked that out earlier, Pat, that he's running a little bit higher off the corner, and maybe he's getting a little tight, and Schrader looks like he's starting to reel him in.
But look, you see how low he was down in 1 and 2, though. I mean, he's right there on the bottom of the racetrack there on that end of the track. So, again, illustrating how different the ends of this racetrack really are.
We are 34 laps now complete, working lap number 35, and Johnny Borneman there in that 8 car as he puts Blake Mallory a lap down in the 6.
Blake's a good kid. Raced against him a couple times. He tried to run a couple truck races last few years, and he's a good guy. Came from the World Outlaws and open wheel sprint car stuff. He's a good little driver.
There was a good shot just a minute ago where Schrader's gaining some ground. He's able to hold his car down at the bottom over there in 3 and 4, and I think that's where he's gained some ground on the 20 car.
Well, I tell you what, I think a lot of these guys now need some kind of adjustment, and if we get any kind of a caution now in the next 10 laps with that tire rule, they would be able to put some fresh tires on with the allowed 6 tires in your pits. I think we're going to see some stops as this field is really strung out, and the top 3 have checked out from the rest of the field here in this race.
Here's where some strategy can come into play if there's no caution. You know, you got to stop for fuel at least. You know, maybe one of these guys in the back, you know, the 61 Brett Thompson, Eric Norris, maybe they take a chance. They come in, they do it under green and hope that it stays for a while. This is where you got to start gambling. This is the fun part about being a race car driver. I don't make those decisions. I let the crew chief do that and tell me when to go, and it's his fault.
Oh, you just come in after the fact and go, I can't believe that we didn't pit when that guy pitted.